Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Annisya Febrilia, and I would like to presentation about this micro and macro skill in language. So before I start this discussion, and I would like to um ask to you all why we need to know this micro and macro skill in language, because micro and macro skill in language to is be able to produce the words into developing strategy in academic speaking, and then be able to understanding the language function verbal and non-verbal language. Then let's get started. Start from slide 1 is what is micro and macro speaking. Micro is referred to producing small chunks of language such as phonemes, morphemes, and words. So macro is imply the speaker's focus on largest element fluency, like fluency, discourse, function, style, cohesion, communication, and strategic option. The next is micro skill of oral communication. What it is? Micro skill of oral communication is a produced chunks of language of different lengths, like orally produced difference among English phonemes and allophonic variants. To produce English stress patterns and intonation contours, use an adequate number of lexical units in order to accomplish grammatic purposes. And the next produce fluent speech, like monitor oral production and use strategic device like pauses, fillers, backtracking, turn talking. And the next is use grammatical patterns and rules, like for the speech in natural constituents, like appropriate phrases, pause, breathing. And the last is express a particular meaning in different grammatical forms. The next is macro skill overall is use cohesive device in spoken discourse, accomplish appropriate communicative function according to situation, participants, and goals. Use appropriate registered implicators, grammatic convention, and other sociolinguistic features in face-to-face conversation. And then conflict and connection between events and communicate such relation, like main idea maybe, and exemplification. The next is use facial feature, kinesis, body language, not verbal with verbal language to convey meaning. And the last is develop and use speaking strategies such as emphasizing, repressing, providing a context, asking for help, using circumlocution. The next slide is micro and macro skill of oral communication. They refer to the skill speaker use in conversation discourse and provide teachers clear idea of what the learners actually need to perform in oral communication. Both of micro and macro skills are focused on the forms and function of language and can become a testing criteria in speaking evaluation. Like we will look this in PowerPoint. Micro skill at the level sentence level and macro skill at the discourse level. Okay, maybe I think it's enough for me to presentation this about micro and macro skill in language, and hopefully will be useful for you all. Thank you for listening to me to reading this presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.